In a bustling little town, there lived a shy boy named Aryan. He was quiet, thoughtful, and often lost in his own world. Aryan loved to read, dream, and observe the world around him. But when it came to speaking his mind, fear always held him back. At school, Aryan's teachers praised his intelligence, and his classmates admired his artistic skills. But Aryan rarely participated in class discussions or raised his hand to answer questions. Whenever he wanted to speak, his heart raced and his words felt trapped inside him. One day, their school announced an exciting competition, Young Inventors Day. Students were invited to present innovative ideas that could solve everyday problems. The winner would receive a scholarship and a chance to present their idea at the state level event. Aryan's eyes lit up as he read the announcement. He had been working on a unique idea, a device that could convert rainwater into potable water for villages facing water scarcity. He had spent weeks sketching diagrams and designing the model in his notebook. His best friend Kabir encouraged him. Aryan, this is your chance. Your idea is amazing. You have to present it. Aryan hesitated, biting his lip. What if I mess up? What if people laugh at me? Kabir shook his head. You can't let fear stop you. You have to try. Aryan nodded, promising himself he would participate. Over the next week, he refined his idea, built a small prototype, and practiced his speech in front of the mirror. But as the day of the competition approached, his anxiety grew. On the morning of the event, Aryan sat backstage with his classmates, each holding their projects. He saw the confidence in their faces and felt small in comparison. His turn was third on the list, and with every passing minute, his nervousness increased. The participant confidently presented their ideas. The first one presented a solar-powered fan. The audience clapped enthusiastically. The second participant showcased an app to help elderly people manage their medicines, earning more applause. Aryan's palms grew sweaty as his name was called. But instead of walking onto the stage, Aryan froze. His legs felt heavy and his voice refused to come out. I can't, he whispered, shaking his head. The teacher called his name again, but Aryan couldn't move. Eventually, the next participant was invited, and Aryan's opportunity slipped away. As he sat there in silence, his heart ached with regret. Kabir came up to him after the event and said gently, Aryan, what happened? You worked so hard for this. Aryan lowered his head, tears welling up. I was too scared. I couldn't do it. That evening, Aryan returned home and sat by his window, staring at the stars. He thought about all the times he had stayed silent, when he wanted to answer questions in class, share his ideas, or even stand up for himself. Every missed opportunity came rushing back to him. The next day, Aryan's teacher, Mrs. Mehta, called him aside. Aryan, I saw your project notes and they are brilliant. Why didn't you present them? Aryan hesitated before replying. I was scared, ma'am. What if I failed? Mrs. Mehta smiled kindly. Aryan, failure is just a part of learning. But staying silent out of fear is the real loss. Your voice matters, and your ideas deserve to be heard. Her words stayed with Aryan. Over the next few weeks, he made a small promise to himself. He would take one small step each day to overcome his fear. In class, he started answering questions, even if his voice trembled. He joined the debate team, not to compete, but to practice speaking. Slowly, his confidence grew. Months later, another opportunity knocked on Aryan's door, a district level science fair. This time, Aryan didn't hesitate. He presented his rainwater purification device with clarity and passion. The judges were impressed, and Aryan won second place. When he stood on the stage holding his certificate, he looked at the audience and realized something important. His fear had always been smaller than his dreams. From that day, Aryan became known as the silent speaker, not because he was silent anymore, but because he had learned the power of speaking up after years of silence. Moral of the story: fear of failure is natural, but letting it silence you is the real loss. Aryan's story teaches us that every voice matters and that taking small steps to overcome fear can lead to big changes. Speaking up can open doors to opportunities you might otherwise miss.